Hello everyone, this is your community manager KL Smith, also known as Arctic, and welcome to another episode of What's Your Loadout. Today's video will provide tips on how to effectively use the beam rifle chassis. I would classify the beam rifle as more of a support weapon that can harass enemy players and allow your team's main slayers or teammates with burst damage weapons to secure kills. Now if you're going to use the beam and want to go for more of the damage support role, here are some of the ideal options. My personal favorite payloads are the Tesla or Pyro. Tesla can help with shielded opponents. It also allows for less accuracy because of the Tesla arcing attributes. Pyro can provide damage over time through its burn properties. Additionally, Pyro can also overheat enemy beam weapons, which creates an interesting dynamic if you're in a beam on beam scenario. And it also provides a 10% damage buff for your teammates or yourself shooting at burning foes. So if you light someone on fire, you switch to your secondary weapon and you shoot at them, you're going to get a 10% damage buff. If you plan on playing the support role and using Pyro, you need to be careful when you're shooting at enemy players and your teammate is engaged in that player in close quarter combat. A burning enemy player can light your teammates on fire, so be very cautious about using Pyro when your teammates are around those enemy players. My favorite triggers for the support role probably going to be full auto or semi-auto. Full auto allows for consistent damage on enemy players, and there's no wind-up time with full auto, and there's not going to be a fast overheat like with the spooling trigger. My favorite equipment piece is the turret, followed very closely by the grenades. Now turrets provide additional support by taking a carbon copy of your beam weapon and using it as its primary weapon. So if you have a Tesla Gatling beam rifle, that turret that you lay down when you have your weapon out will be a Tesla Gatling turret. If you're thinking grenades, you can fill the gap with close quarter combat through that AoE damage with your grenade. So you want to throw down a grenade on someone that's advancing on you and then kind of finish them up with that beam. Grenades can also offer additional support if you're playing that support role if you're using healing grenades. So if you're feeling extra generous, share some of that healing love with your teammates. If you're going for more of an offensive slayer role or beast on the battlefield, as I like to say, I would suggest the following options. My favorite payload when I'm going slayer role is Slug. Tesla is a very close second because of that arcing attribute, but Slug is statistically speaking the best option for dealing damage. The trigger is the most important thing with the beam when you want to deal a lot of damage. Spooling trigger is the optimal choice because it has the higher firing rate, so you have more damage per second, but with that firing rate you have a quicker overheat time. When I'm playing, I typically use the beam rifle in combination with a close range burst damage weapon like a shotgun or rocket launcher. Beams are deadly accurate at range, so it's a very good tactic to equip a close range weapon to minimize the risk of dying in close quarter combat. Beams are also very handy in shooting down incoming enemy rockets. For the best results with the broken arrows, I suggest using the full auto trigger. Spooling is also very good in this situation. So shooting down rockets can oftentimes catch your enemies by surprise and allow you to squeeze in a bit more damage as they reload their rocket. All in all, this weapon is great, outstanding even for players that don't want to go head on into high traffic areas littered with enemies. Instead, players can sit back with a comfortable distance near teammates that are fighting against players in close quarter combat. This has been your community manager, Arctic, and I hope you all enjoyed this episode of What's Your Loadout. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to our official Loadout channel for more content. Peace, guys.